Turning to Ukraine, we all want the bloodshed to end. And I strongly welcome President Trump's continued efforts to bring about a just and lasting peace. This is vital for resolving this conflict, and we support the United States in leading this effort. And as negotiations proceed, we cannot waver in our commitment to Ukraine. Every single day, Russian missiles and drones cause death and destruction, leaving civilians without heat, light and water as winter approaches. Ukraine's security is closely linked to our own. Our support must continue unabated to help Ukraine defend itself today and deter tomorrow, for their own sake and for ours. During today's NATO...
Thank you very much, Lily from Bears. In the NATO strategic conference...
And this means that allies and partners have already committed now really over $4 billion to Pearl, getting us on the track to the $5 billion for the full year. And this flow of aid is crucial. And I urge again all to accelerate their pledges, not just for this winter, but planning ahead also for 2026. Ukraine continues to show incredible resilience. Putin believes he can outlast us, but we are not going anywhere. Today is yet another clear sign that he is wrong. We are strengthening our support for Ukraine and increasing pressure on Russia. This includes countering Russia's shadow fleet and other measures to pose strategic dilemmas for the Kremlin. Today, ministers reaffirmed our commitment to increasing defense investment, enhancing production and stepping up support for Ukraine. Because when we look at Ukraine for next year, if the reparations loan / defreezing the assets or making the assets mobilized, whatever the exact phrase is we are using, if that is not happening, then it is absolutely clear that we need to get the money in another way. And I felt
So the backdrop against which this has been decided is the fact that Ukraine really stands at a critical juncture. The negotiations towards peace are ongoing. While we see that Russia is increasing its attacks, they are intensifying. And we see also in parallel the growing needs for financing of Ukraine. If you look at the IMF estimates that Ukraine will need 135 billion euros for the next 2 years. That is 2026 and 2027. This is needed to keep the state and the basic services running, so the civilian side, but also to continue enabling the brave resistance on the battlefield of Ukraine, so the military side.
Bart de Wever is still not convinced by what he's...
And since pressure is the only language the Kremlin responds to, we can also dial it up. We have to increase the costs of war for Putin's aggression, and today's proposal gives us the means to do this. So what is this proposal? Today we are proposing to cover 2/3 of Ukraine's financing needs for the next 2 years. So this is 90 billion euros. The remainder would be for international partners to cover. Now, we had an intense discussion also on the position of Belgium, where Euroclear, the main source, is situated. We have listened very carefully to Belgium's concerns, and we have taken almost all of them into account in our proposal that is today on the table of the reparations loans. We have very strong safeguards in place to protect member states and to reduce the risks as much as possible. For example, to ensure that an illegitimate award outside the Union cannot be enforced inside the Union. And very important, we have created a very strong solidarity mechanism where in the very end the Union can intervene, because we want to make very sure to all our member states, but specifically also to Belgium, that one thing is for sure: we will share the burden in a fair way, as it is the European way.
Thank you, President. Thank you, Commissioner. Wish you a good afternoon.